Welcome back, everybody. Let's do some drawing. Right, I wanted to draw a character. Right, where should we go? We'll start sort of here. Little face there. Right. Well, thank you for joining me. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Hope you enjoy what you're watching. And if you're an old friend of the channel, welcome back. Great to see you as ever. So I wanted to do a few little bits for the game itself. So when we have a few pages that need something to, take up a bit of room, we've got something to just throw in there, and I think that's kind of cool. So I just wanted to do a couple of sketches, and still on the fence whether or not we want it all digital or maybe a mix of digital and traditional. We'll see how we do, and I'm going to make him a bit more stylized, I think, for this character, because it's not really a real character in the game. It's just another wanderer that's wandered a bit too deep into the wastes. Alright, cool. So if this is your first time, grab yourself a nice cup of tea or coffee, whatever you fancy. Stick me on in the background and do a little bit of drawing, or just have a nice chill. That's the idea. Alright, we're doing alright. I'm taking a little bit longer than usual to get the right look to this drawing. This is hopefully be something that will go into the game book itself, so I want it to look fairly cool. And what we'll do, we'll populate this whole piece of paper, so when we whole piece of paper. So when we go to put it in the board game / game book, we have lots of little things just to pop around, and I think that's kind of cool. Alright, cool. Alright, we do the normal mask thing, but a bit more movement in the mask, so it's almost like bone. And what sort of hair should they have? I'm very aware I always give the characters long hair, and I don't know why. I think that's just a preference of drawing. I think it's more fun to draw long hair, but maybe I will draw a couple of characters with smaller hair. Shorter hair. Smaller hair. It's ridiculous. Anyway. So we'll do a really oversized sort of like coat as well on this character. I think that's kind of cool. Kind of like that 90s noir feeling. That oversized jackets everywhere, and that's kind of cool. There we go. We'll do like a little strappy bit here, and just the end of a buckle behind this bit. Cool. And then here, so we've got the end of the jacket bit. And this is kind of like a scarf it was meant to be. But we'll figure that out as we draw it. We'll make more sense of it. Okay, cool. It feels like we're missing something to make it a little bit more spacey. What could we add? Don't know. We'll figure that out, I think. We could just have a pipe going around here. I think that might actually work quite well. So give the impression of like, where's it going? What's the purpose? I just think it's a little bit more interesting than nothingness. There we go. Yeah, that'll be right. That'll look fine. And then we'll do some more pipes here, like in the foreground. just showing that there's some sort of large machinery next to them. I don't know, we'll make it up as we go along today, I think. Could get the lid off the pen. Right. Take your time. Nice and sketchy. It's not about doing anything perfect, it's just enjoying the process. And then so we need lots of little marks, because you know it is bone and you know it's strange, otherworldly, sort of like skull plates of the creatures here, and I'm not sure about that bit, but we'll come back to that maybe. And then we'll do the some nice grooves in the middle, like that. Yeah, nice and relaxed. Don't want to hold the pen too tight, just want to kind of feeling loosey-goosey and nice and relaxed. And then the top bit of the skull here. And then nice little groove there. Sure, it's been through some walls, and again, I think when the image actually gets put into the book itself, it's going to be fairly small, so excuse me. So we don't need to worry too much about getting it just right, but we will put some little mechanical bits here. So it looks like there is some sort of engineering involved in this little bit. And we'll just do a little spiral. I guess it kind of works like ventilation as well within the mask. Yeah, and you might be thinking it's a bit of a strange mask. There's no eye holes. Nope. No. So it's a bit of a weird one, but I really like the idea that the characters in the game wear these masks, so they can't see all the awful stuff in the world, because it would affect your compass mentis or mental health sort of stat. And so you have to use different sensors and different things to help you see in the world that you can't see. And that's a weird one, I know, but that was kind of cool. And yeah, if you generally needed to see something, or if you were fighting something and you needed much higher perception, because obviously if you take a mask off you can see a lot more, your attacks would be far more accurate than anything else. Just realised that I'm doing somewhat dot work in this. Very weird. But yeah, you could take your mask off any time and just hopefully your compass mentis, your mental armour, strong enough to kind of deal with what you see. Yeah, that's kind of it, man. Okay, so we'll do sort of like a harness, like a buckle sort of thing that's holding onto the bone. And again, nice and chill. And where's the end of the skull? Okay. And the skull's kind of like there. Just a few nice little grooves. Nothing too exciting. Like that. A few little marks, things of that nature. Cool, and then we'll do the hair first, because we're here anyway, and we're going to do it nice and messy and not worry. It's not the idea of today, it's nothing perfect. Just a nice little doodle. Okay. And then we don't want to complete all the lines either, so you want a sort of a nice softer look to something, in my opinion. I have no idea what I'm doing most of the time. This is like when you're drawing anything, especially it's sort of a comic style. Every now and again, just miss out the lines, Be really loose with your penmanship, and every now and again, just don't complete a line. You have like a much softer feel to it afterwards. And it's easier on the old wrist and the old grippers. God, I'm talking about crap today. this is where the sort of mechanical bit is. Okay. Okay, cool. Right, and then do a little bit of stitching or something along here. A few little tears in the leather. And cool. Nice. Yeah, it's looking alright. I don't know if it's to be feminine or masculine. I don't know. Let's see. Not quite sure yet on that one. I'll just draw this little bit of belt. Yeah, something like that. And again, I need to make sure I stay sketchy, because otherwise I'll go from like one sort of style to another within a couple of strokes of the pen, and then the final image is really strange looking, because it looks like it's two different people that drew the same image, you know. Well, I think so anyway. I think it looks strange. And then nice little canister-like thing here that connects to the next bit of wherever we're going, whatever the plan is. Like so. Cool. Oh, my wrist is all clicky today. And then we'll do this little bit. Someone's chopping firewood outside, I can hear them. Good time of the year to do it. It's bloody freezing. Go on. Connect these little bits. A little bit of shimmer in the top of the pipe. Nothing too exciting, but it just adds a little bit more to the image. Little details. It's all in the little details, I think. Right, and then yeah, that'd be fine. We won't really worry about too much of a chin line and whatnot. We'll just sort of a few little marks, and then yeah. Like this. Cool. I think that's why there's a little part of me that prefers drawing sci-fi stuff than like fantasy stuff. You know, if you're drawing sci-fi, just adds a few pipes or cables. Job done. And here, where's the jacket bit? Okay, the jacket bit's a little bit further down. We'll do like, I don't know, this looks like some sort of like end of a mask or something, so maybe she's pulled it down. And I don't know, I don't really know what this is, but I think it's some sort of thing you would hold with your hand, and maybe it's like something that helps breathe underwater or something, or, you know, something like that. Actually, you know what, I prefer leaving it to the imagination, whatever you think it is, it could well be. You know, I always thought that was kind of a cool way to do things. I want to do that coming around here so it looks like that's part of it. Maybe one of the cables. You know what, I just had a very weird idea. A lot of the characters have, you know, not so much like biomechanical things, but they have machines and different things that they use on their persons. I wonder what powers them. I used to have this idea, and I might still use it. might still use it. Good English. And that was the half ship that had these really long cables. I call them tethers. And they would connect from the half ship all the way to your characters, and they weren't entirely physical, they were sort of ethereal as well, but I haven't really thought of that idea for a while, so I wonder if that'll still be a thing. But I suppose another way of doing it is you hold something on your person that, gives energy and fuel, and when you go back to the half ship after a long day of adventuring and fighting monsters and gathering resources and dealing with whatever you find in the wastes, that could be kind of cool. You could have to recharge it. I suppose it could be some sort of tether to the world as well. It could be like a fuel cell, which I think doesn't really work for this world. It's a little bit more creepy and like effigy and talisman sort of stuff, rather than energy cells and fusion and all that stuff. It's meant to be more like a dreamy world. So I wonder if we could have instead, a little effigy of yourself. So the effigies of yourself is always something in a lot of the earlier drawings. I think I was putting them in. Like every time I did one, I'd have a little effigy of the person I drew, because it was quirky. And have something like that. And I suppose maybe it'll be a little effigy that you need to keep safe, and maybe at the end of the day you re-sew it if it got ripped or something, rather than, having to, I don't know, stitch yourself up. You're stitching a little effigy thing up. I think that's kind of cool as well. So this is going to be a pipe. Very Matrix feel to it in the back of the head. Doo-doo-doo. What a cool film that was. The Matrix. Cool film. Wasn't really sure about the other two that followed shortly after, and I haven't watched the newest one. What a cool idea. Anyway, what was I talking about? I don't know. Oh, good. Sounds about right for my normal video. Cool. Okie dokie. Do a few little details in here. There we go. Like a little cable there. Another cable there. Cool. And what can we do down here? We could just have the hair sort of messy, greasy, medium short hair. It's kind of all over the place, and it's kind of cool. Another tube here maybe. Yeah. Again, nice and sketchy. Let's not worry too much here. And then here I don't know if they just do more cables and stuff. I think so. I kind of like the idea that the actual characters, other than all the my attempt to remove every negative space in an image, you give the character this lovely porcelain-like feel, and it's more about just being so bland almost, and then everything they're wearing is kind of chaotic and post-apocalyptic and stuff like that. I don't know. Still figuring that one out. Okay, that looks flat, doesn't it? We can probably change that with a little bit of movement on the sides. Yeah, I think that worked. Cool. That looks kind of cool. I'll just do some lines I was just talking about, removing negative space, and here we am. We must destroy all the negative space. We must fill all the gaps. I don't know what that says about me. For here, what were we doing? Kind of like the idea of keeping it a little bit basic. So we wanted another cable there, didn't we, or something? Yeah, I think it needs it. So we'll draw cable here. Do a little bit more detail than the other ones because it's in the foreground. But I'm drawing at a weird angle, so my hand is saying to me, why are you doing this? Oh, there's a doggy outside having a little bark. You know what we haven't heard for a little while? The magpies. They haven't been here for a little while. This little thing on the top, I was just thinking of like fuse boxes and stuff, so just draw a little fuse box thing. I always find them so interesting. Anything with just almost too many cables and wires and stuff, I always think, I wonder how you work. Don't know. Nice. Lots of little cables, little details that aren't needed, but I want them there. There's a nice little gap here to do a little bit of like flickery shine on the image itself. It would be really nice all coloured in as well, wouldn't it? I suppose that's the issue about doing it traditional. It would take so long to do, and from digital it would take 3 seconds. I don't know, maybe come back and forth on that a little bit more, no doubt. Cool. We still got a little ways to go. I think we've done on most of the detailed bits, but I don't want at this point to kind of forget what I'm doing and rush it and make that last little bit crap. We don't want to do that. Just want to take our time. And then this bit here, another bit of pipe. And so nice. Right, okay. I think we're doing alright. I think it's time for some tea. Stay cozy. Oh, that's getting quite cold. I feel like I've been here for longer than I thought. Right, okay. Let's try and not speed up, but get to where I'm going a little sooner, maybe. It doesn't make any sense, does it? Right. Maybe we keep that a little bit bland, really, because we've got a lot of bits and pieces to do. I feel like that needs to have a cable there. Don't know why, but it just looked like it needed it. We'll keep the one side neat and the one side messy. And then we might wrap another little cable over the top of it. Like so. Every now and again we'll do another little bit. So there's a little metal thingy holding it clean and still. Cool. Right, lovely. So this bit's nice and messy, isn't it? So we'll need to figure this one out. I will procrastinate and draw a little pipe there. And then I don't need to worry about my problems. Until I do. Right, we could do a nice ripped bit of fabric. Keeping it loosey-goosey. You don't want to commit too much time or effort putting in the details and worrying about the final look. Oh no, there goes the boiler. No, boiler. Just go to sleep, mate. The heating is not even on, it's just wanted to come and see me. Right, there we go. And then some more ripped bits of cloth. I think that's kind of, oh my goodness, the boiler, just chill out, mate. Relax. It's not that cold, it's alright. And then a few more little bits like this. I'm so sorry if you can hear that obnoxiously loud boiler doing its thing. Oh, boiler, do shut up. Yeah, I don't know why, I've just gone into a little bit of dot work. Just looked. I don't know, it just felt like the right time to do some. As soon as the boiler is turned on, it is now turned off and gone once more. So it can annoy me next time. Next, then we do some more little dots here and more dots here. What's this? Is that a pipe? No. Put some hair there. There we go, lovely, lovely. I'll put a little bit of hair of this on that side as well. Alright. Yeah, I just want some little dotty details today. I don't often use dot work these days. I absolutely adore doing it, but it takes a long time to get not very far. That's what I was trying to express. Cool. And a little line here. Some little scuff marks will do. There we go. Cool. Right, start doing that. Needs to be another little bit of cloth here. And we'll wrap it round like so. And then on the inside we'll do some line work. Bit of a mix of styles on this one, isn't it? It's quite fun actually to do a mix, just a little bit of dot work and a little bit of cross hatching and, you know, nice mix of all sorts. Can't get stagnant then, you know. And I think it's really good sometimes just to have a little bit of a play around and just experiment. You know, even if you're doing a piece for, you know, a project or something, can, I don't know, be brave. Make a bit of mess. Cool. Right. Oh, I've got the itchiest cheek in the world. I'm not sure if it needs all this stuff on the side. I quite like, you know what, I'm going to change what I've drawn now. And I know I keep doing this and it's really bad practice. I'm almost going to do almost like a ripped shirt almost. So I think it needed don't know, I just needed something different than what I'd drawn, and I wasn't really feeling it. I kind of like the idea of framing this character, this pose, a little bit more than having the arm right out, and I don't think it needs it. We'll do the last little bit like this, and we'll do very comic-y, that little bit there. And see, we leave a little gap. Yeah, it just softens it up, doesn't it? That's what I was trying to explain earlier. Terribly mumbly fashion. Yeah, cool. That's nice. How are we looking so far? We're doing alright, aren't we? And then maybe we should have a little bit of the shoulder. And then I do keep that little bit of the buckle as well, because I really like the idea of having that buckle on show. Nice tear in the leather there, and yeah, bit of the buckle there. Nice few lines. What should we do here? We could do, you know what, I kind of like just continue with this, like fabric, maybe even this last bit kind of like fur, and then it will almost be like a parallel with the hair. That'd be kind of cool. Nice like that. Nice and sketchy, we don't mind sketchy here. And then, like that. Like that, and I like to do some shading, but I'm not really sure where to even begin. That's kind of cool actually, that just sudden cut off, I like that. And then a little bit of fabric just kind of sticking out, and yeah, it's kind of feels weird, but at the same time I kind of like it. And then we'll do, that's such a mix, isn't it? Let's do some more detail somewhere. Yeah, let's just fill in the gaps. Let's play a game of filling in the gaps. What else can we do? A bit here. We'll just have a little look for little bits that we can just fill in and be like, where would this be darker? And let's have a little bit of shadow. Right there, for sure. And let's try and I think a few of my images, I say a few, pretty much all my images I've drawn on here, because I'm worried about doing the video too long or sort of having a very boring mini game of me finding little bits to draw lines. I tend not to put any real contrast in my images, and I think maybe that sort of affects the feel I'm going for. I find that sci-fi always has that very dark feel, You're watching Alien lately, and very unpopular opinion, but I love Alien Resurrection. I think it's fabulous. And it's just such a dark film. There's so many shadows, and I love the camera work and stuff. And I have no idea about film production or anything like that. And I have a wonderfully awful taste in films, but I don't know. There's something about the look of Alien Resurrection that when I When I think of sci-fi, I think of that game. That film. And what else is going on in my little world? My partner found a wonderful game called Kiwi. I think it's on Steam, and it was like £2.50. And honestly, I think it's very, very quickly becoming one of my favourite games of all time. It's wonderful and chaotic and ridiculous and cute, and yeah, it's fantastic. So if you need a nice, cute game to play with a friend, Kiwi. It's good stuff. I think it's good stuff anyway, but if you do give it a go, let me know what you thought of it, yeah? Thank you. Okay, we've got to be a little bit confident now, because we're filling a lot of gaps with lines, which kind of goes against the one of my rules about drawing, having too many lines together. But so far, it looks alright. But we're not going to worry too much about it, are we? No, we're not. And then... yeah, something like that. Yes, it's getting very messy now, but I think we're going to get away with it. Unless I mess up horribly in the next few minutes. What else do we need? Yeah, I like the curve on that. It kind of shows that there is somewhat a curve to the image itself. To the mask itself, sorry. And then... a little bit of shadow on the character's face. Yeah, nice. Oh yeah, I thought I'd talk a little bit about the game. That'd be a good idea, wouldn't it? Purpose for the channel. I could actually talk about the thing I was meant to be talking about. So, we've got 4 starting characters, and anyone that's been following us, you probably already know the ones. We've got Ayla, the mage, that gathers certain types of stuff in the wastes in the world, and she uses it to consume, and then she can use like abilities, like mage like stuff, kind of like mid-range fighty things like that. And then we have Herloff, who is now a mix between a sort of a shapeshifter druid and a barbarian, which is really cool, I think. And then we have Nilfa, who is the little demon whiptail character, who's terrifying and wonderful at the same time. And then we have our good old friend Vigo, who is a disgraceful, gross, disgusting, monsterish thing, which I absolutely adore him, and I've definitely got a soft spot for him. And he controls his little homunculi. And then we're going to have is also a choice of 2 other types of character, unnamed wanderers, and they'll start off a little bit more difficult than the other ones because they won't have anything to, no special stuff, but you'll be able to customize them a little bit more than the other characters, and even though they won't be sort of mentioned in the sort of the RPG element of like reading the storylines and the lore bits and stuff like that, you will be able to make a character exactly the way you want them. Hope that makes sense. Really hope that the camera is still recording, because it's been very quiet and we're still sort of learning. Well, I'm not learning. I don't understand any of it, but my partner's still learning all the ins and outs of the new camera. So I'm hoping that it's currently working. If not, I'm just some strange dude chatting to himself for no real reason. no difference there then, really. Okay, right, so we got a little bit more to do. I think this is looking quite cool. I'm really glad I was brave and just started drawing lines everywhere, and that's not very much like me. I normally really fight against the idea of making something look messy, but for some reason it just looks right for this one, so I'm really glad I did it. Well done, mate. Cheers. And a few more little spores and decay and things like that on the side. A little mushroom there, I think. And then a few little floaty bits because, near the floor of the world you have a lot of floaty stuff. Oh, I should have drawn the arm now, really, but is that too late? No, it's not too late. But I am going to draw a slightly different way of drawing. I'm going to almost plan and prep for the shading bits. And then here I'll do like frayed fur bit on the end of this sleeve. And then like that. Because I think it will look cool. And there's no real reason other than that. Okay. Alright. Shoulder, arm, okay. And I guess that's the arm itself. I'll do a few little dot work on there, just not too many, just something to show there's something to it than that. Right, and let's finish off with some terrible line work. There we go. Lovely. Cool. Well, I hope you all enjoyed your stay here with me today. And I hope the rest of your day is lovely. And you get some nice biscuits or something nice is going to happen for your day. Yeah, I just hope you have a nice day, really. And I will see you next time, and thank you to everyone that supports the channel. Thank you to my Old Druid Biscuit Party Patreon. See, been practicing. What a professional. And thank you to everyone that just comes and has a chat. And really glad you're enjoying the channel. If you are. If you're not enjoying it, then it's awkward. And if you want to see anything in particular, let me know. Probably won't draw it, but it'd be nice to know what you think and what you would like to see. Right, that will do for that. We'll stick in there. Make this artsy. Look at that. So artsy. I don't know, I can't actually see the camera. It's way up there. Hello. Anyway, you all take care. Bye.